position. And all right, so we can go ahead and get started. So if you will, oh, let me go ahead and mute everyone. That's what I meant to do. Let's see, just in case anyone, you can always unmute if you ever have any questions or something's not clear, but if everybody's mic is on, we get a lot of feedback. So I'm going to mute everyone, but you can unmute if suddenly my sound is not working or anything's, any of my technology is wrong, go ahead and let me know. I'd rather try to fix it. All right, so go ahead and find yourself in a comfortable reclined position and just relax totally into the earth, letting your arms relax at your side. You can have your palms up or down. Some teachers say that you're receiving energy from the universe with your palms up, or more grounding with your palms down. Just whatever feels right for you this morning. Let your heels flop open towards the corners of your mat and see if you can just let everything go. Close your eyes. Let your jaw go. Take the tongue off the roof of your mouth. Unclench everything. See if you can let your shoulders totally relax. Don't clench any muscles anywhere. Let your hips relax. Let your feet relax. Your toes, your shins. Let go of your knees, your hips, your neck. Just become like Jello. Just let it all go into the ground. And close your eyes. And start to breathe in and out of your nose, just your natural rhythm. If your mind starts to wander, that's okay, but come back to your breath. Concentrate on your breath coming in and out of your nose. And we're going to take a moment, we call this sacred silence, and we're just going to breathe and think about that breath that's coming in and out of your nose. Go ahead and bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. Continue to breathe. Notice a lot of us spend all day trying to hold our stomachs in. Go ahead and let that muscle go. And on your next exhale, you can gently use the hand on your belly to help you get all of the air out of your lungs. And on your next inhale, seal your lips and breathe slowly all the way up from your belly to your belly button to the top of your chest. And imagine that you're inhaling all the way to the top of your head. When you get there, open your mouth and slowly sigh it out like you're fogging up a mirror. Feel your lips at the bottom and inhale slowly all the way up. When you get to the top this time, see if you can take one more sip of air and hold your breath for just a moment and open your mouth and sigh it out. This time, when you get to the bottom of your breath, hold your breath for just a moment before you inhale, sealing your lips. Inhale. When you get to the top of your breath, see if you can hold it for a couple of counts. And this time, keep your lips sealed, breathing out through your nose, making that growling noise still. See if you can hold your breath for a couple of counts here, keeping your lips sealed. Inhale slowly. When you get to the top of your breath, you can hold it, and you can even count if you want to count to 3 or 4, and you can hold, and this is called square breathing. So at the top of your breath, you'll hold for 3 or 4, exhale to 3 or 4, hold for 3 or 4, and then inhale. This is a technique used a lot of times, even psychiatrists use it to help calm down anxiety. The medical field knows that it's known as square breathing, and it seems to calm down our central nervous system. So take a few rounds of this breath on your own because we all breathe differently. So go ahead and inhale, hold, exhale, hold. I'm sorry, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, and then repeat the cycle. On your next exhale, go ahead and come back to your natural breath in and out through your nose. And you can bring your hands back to your side and you can start to wiggle your fingers and toes. And then reach your hands palms facing each other over your head and take a nice good morning stretch. You can point your toes and inhale as you stretch and exhale as you relax everything down into the mat. Let everything go, your shoulders, your hips, your back, just relax like that jello, just finding the ground. And then inhale, tensing up all of your muscles and stretching, and exhaling everything back down into the mat. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, stretch, and exhale, relax into the mat. On your next inhale, bring your knee into your chest and take that right hand on your knee and your left hand at your side for balance, and let's draw those big circles on the ceiling, nice and round, opening up your hip, getting some oxygen flowing. And then let's rotate, take that circle in the other direction. And then when you stop, let's go ahead and take your clasp your calf and pull your knee into your right shoulder and breathe in. And exhale, relax into the mat. Inhale, pull. Exhale, relax. Now let's take some ankle circles. Just twist your ankle around in circles. You can do that with both the one on the floor and the one that's up, rotating it around. And now rotate your ankle in the other direction. And on your next inhale, send your right leg out to meet your left and take that good morning stretch again. And exhale, bringing your left knee in, giving yourself a squeeze here. And then take your left hand on your left knee, right hand out to your side for balance, and draw some big circles on the ceiling. And then go in the opposite direction. And now go ahead and squeeze your shin in. And then you can let it relax a little bit, and let's take some ankle circles on this side. So go ahead and twist. You can do the one that's on the ground and the one that's up. Take it in, so you can do them in the same direction. And then go ahead and rotate them in the opposite direction. All right, when you stop doing that, let's go ahead and inhale, pulling your knee into your chest, up towards your armpit. And then exhaling and just relaxing everything into the mat. Inhale, pull. Exhale, relax. Inhale, pull. Exhale, relax. And we'll go ahead and give it a nice stretch. This time, exhale, bring both of your knees in. Make sure you don't cross your ankles, and you can roll on your back gently, giving yourself a gentle back massage here. That should feel really good on your lower back. And we'll go ahead and inhale and stretch back out. Exhale, let's come back up to a seated position. Anything that works for you. If cross-legged doesn't work for you, if your knees are way up, you can always put pillows underneath. Simple cross-legged is fine. If you need to have your legs out in front of you, anything is fine, whatever works in your body. And let's go ahead and on the inhale, let's stretch up. You can look up to the ceiling and left hand on your right knee, right hand behind you, stretch, twist around. Inhale, center. Exhale, right hand on your left knee, left hand behind you, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Come back to center. All right, let's go ahead and move towards tabletop on your hands and knees. Remember to claw your hands like a cat or a dog and so that all of your weight is not on your wrists, and your knees should be right under your hips. If you look down between your knees and you can see your toes, just scoot them so you cannot see them. And we'll do a couple of cats and cows here. And today I want to talk about if you're ever in a yoga class and they do something that doesn't work in your body, I want to tell you that you're always able to do something different, because I'm going to show you a couple things after we do this. If this doesn't work in your body, for example, you can always just take a child's position and sit it out. So anyway, let's do the cat and cow. So as we know, we're going to inhale and drop the belly and look up, and exhale and arch. You can come up on your fingertips if you want, like a scared cat. Inhale and exhale. Take a few rounds of this at your own breath, inhaling as you drop your belly and lift your gaze and your tail, and exhale and you will arch. Go ahead and tuck your toes if this works in your body. If it does not, you can continue to do cats and cows. It's absolutely fine. And if this works in your body, just for a little strength challenge today, see if you can lift your knees off the ground. If that does not work for you, don't. And then claw your feet and your hands into the ground. And you can lift and you can hold for just a moment here. And that is a little bit of strength training. If that does not work for you, you can stay here and you can do cats and cows. While we have our toes tucked, let's stretch the tops of our feet. This might be it for you. This might be the stretch, but if you can come up on your fingertips and slowly walk back. If it does not work for you, this might be as far as you go, but stretching, or if you can come all the way back and you can sit on your heels and you should feel a good stretch. You should never feel any shooting pain, but you might, if you do, back out, but it might feel a little bit uncomfortable. I recommend for those of us who have to wear shoes for work, go ahead and do this stretch after you take your feet out of your shoes, and you will be happy with that. Go ahead and come forward and gently move your feet to the tops of the feet, and you can move back again. You can use a pillow here if you need to. This might be as far as you go. If you can sit on your feet while they're flat on the ground. If it works in your body, you can walk your hands backwards and gently rock up on your feet so that your knees come up even. That's the more advanced part, and that stretches the top of your feet. Again, this is going to look different in everyone's body, so it might be that you're just to here, but just feeling that stretch in your feet can help. At this point, many of you, if you do practice downward dog, which we would tuck our toes, and I'm going to show that. If not, you're welcome to stay here and do some cats and cows. But I just want to show, if you go to any yoga flow class, they will have you do a downward dog. So I just wanted to come up and offer that if you would like to. So claw your feet, tuck your toes, and you're going to come up and your hips are going to go up and you're going to push back with your arms. Your elbows, the inside of your elbows are going to be rotating forward. Your heels may or may not come down. You can walk your dog here. If this does not work in your body again, just stay in tabletop and do some cats and cows or whatever feels natural in your body. The other thing that's often done in a flow class is plank, and this would be a strength training. And I'll show you what full plank looks like. We would come forward and hold like this, but you're always welcome to come down onto your knees and hold like this. So for a really good strength training, if you add this to your practice at some point, this is a really good way to build some of that upper body strength. You can come to your knees, and I'll have everyone do it this way this time, and I'll just demonstrate. You're going to kind of come forward. You always want to bend your elbows, not like military push-ups. In yoga, we like to keep our elbows close to our body because if they're out, you can really hurt your rotor cuff. But if you'll just come down gently onto your chest and your head, and you'll find yourself on the ground. And then let's come up and stretch that lower back with Sphinx pose. So if you got here from tabletop, that's fine as well. So you end up, on the ground, and then elbows under your shoulders, and we'll stretch up. Okay, and then whatever way works for you, let's make it to a seated position again. And we'll move into our first yin pose of the day. It's always good to get a forward fold in. Today, what I would like to do is let's keep our right leg out long. And if it works in your body, bend your left knee and bring it up almost like that tree pose when we were standing, so that your foot is inside your thigh. It might be inside your shin, whatever works in your body. If your knee is up, you can put a pillow underneath your knee here, but bringing it in as close as you can is what you want to try to do. Of course, if that doesn't work in your body, if it doesn't work at all, you're welcome to keep both legs down, but having one leg here, this will give a nice stretch in our hip as well. And let's see, go ahead and stretch up, and then slowly start to hinge forward towards your right foot. Your hands can go at your side. It might just be a little bit of a bend, and you'll just let your head go. If you would like to put a pillow here and totally rest your head on a pillow, that's fine, or you can just let it hang like that coconut forward and just breathe. Make sure you're letting your ankle totally relax in your right foot. Your leg is totally relaxed. Your hips are relaxed. Your jaw is relaxed. And just lean forward. Your neck is relaxed. Just let your head go. Your chin is going towards your chest. And just breathe here. You might relax and find yourself sinking a little more deeply towards the earth. Go ahead and very slowly, pretending one vertebrae at a time, your head will be the last thing to come up. You can come up and slowly inhale and breathe. You can send your left leg out to meet your right. And then we're going to repeat this on the other side. So this time leaving your left leg, or if you got it backwards, like I did that in a class the other day when I was taking, I did the wrong side. So just do the opposite side of what you just did. This side will probably feel totally different. You can bring your right leg up. Again, you can put a pillow here. If this does not work in your body, you can always modify by having your leg further down, but trying to get it up for a nice stretch in your right hip will work here. And once you get situated, go ahead and stretch up and relaxing and exhaling, just fold over your left leg, hands wherever they feel comfortable. Mine feel comfortable at my side here. Let your head go, take the tongue off the top of your mouth, breathe, close your eyes, breathe in and out through your nose, and just totally relax. Make sure you're letting your muscles in your left ankle go, your back, your shoulders, just let everything slump towards the ground. don't forget to breathe and see if you can let something go. Is there any muscle anywhere that you're clenching? See if you can let something go and sink a little more deeply. Go ahead and come up one vertebrae at a time, and then make your way onto your back. And when you get here, bring your knees up with your feet as close to your bottom as you can. Just wait a moment. And then when you relax, see if you can like take that arch out of your back and get like you can also almost get your full vertebrae onto the mat there. And then on your next inhale, with your arms, next to you, go ahead and lift your bottom off the ground. This is a bridge pose. You might just be lifting it a little bit. You might challenge yourself and lift a little bit more. This is a counter pose for bending forward. Now we're bending our back a little bit the other way. And you can go ahead and let that go. Take a couple of breaths here. And let's challenge ourselves and go ahead and lift again. See if you can lift your hips a little higher. And that's going to look different for everyone. And go ahead and come back down. While we're here, we'll go move to our next yin pose. Go ahead and move your hips a little bit over to the right of your mat. And we'll walk our feet over. I'm sorry, the hips went to the left. I did that backwards. Put your hips to the left and then walk your feet to the right side of your mat. And then you can, if it works in your body, you can grab for opposite elbows and pull your left bicep towards your ear and move towards the right top. If you would rather just have your arms long and hold on to each of the hands or the wrist, that works as well. And you should be getting a good stretch in your left side. And your shoulders should stay on the ground. So if your left shoulder's popping up, just scoot back a little bit out of the pose. If it helps you for balance or a little bit more stretch, you can cross your left leg over your right if you need a little bit more of a stretch. And breathe and see if you can let everything relax into the mat. forget to breathe and relax those shoulders. They should not be tensed up. You should be letting everything go into the mat. Go ahead and come back to center. And you can bring your knees up and then scoot your bottom over to the right side of your mat and then stretch your legs long and go ahead and start to walk them to the left side, left corner of your mat. And you'll find that one side is going to feel different than the other. And then you can clasp your elbows, or you can have your arms long and start to scoot your head and neck and shoulders up to the top left corner. And you should feel a good stretch in your right side. Again, you can cross your right ankle over your left if you like, or you can just leave your feet together, whichever feels best in your body today. And breathe and relax into the mat. Relax your shoulders. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw. Let everything drop into the mat and breathe. And you can bring your knees in and rock and roll on your lower back a little bit, giving yourself a gentle massage here. And then to continue on my theme of alternative poses to do if you're ever if you ever go take a yoga class and they do, I wanted to tell you that figure 4 that we've been doing up against the wall, which we're going to do again. So if you want to start moving there or on the ground, if you're in a class and they're doing pigeon, I'll go ahead and show you what that position looks like. And if you want to practice pigeon, you can. What we do is we usually start from downward dog and we bring our leg up and we slide this one back. I usually have to put a block or something here because you want to make contact with the ground. And then we do this. I was just in a class recently where the instructor forgot to give the modification that you can always lie on your back and cross, and you get the same stretch, and you can put your hand through like this. If you want to practice this way, you can. My favorite these days is up against the wall. So if you have a wall handy, you can do that. And this, it will open up your hip, gets blood circulating to your hip as well. There's some places that we usually don't in our regular walking around lives. Okay, so if you're at the wall, you can cross your right leg over your left. If you are not at the wall, same motion, but you'll be putting your hand through and holding like this. If you're at the wall, you can put your hands at your side and gently let your leg walk down the wall. And you should feel a good stretch in your right hip. Again, no shooting pain. If it's too much, back out a little bit. During the pose, you can always sink a little bit more into the pose. Go ahead and close your eyes and breathe. You might find in this pose that as you go, your foot might be sinking a little bit more down the wall. You might feel that you're sinking a little bit more into the pose. Just relax and make sure you're not clenching anything. And as always, breathe. Go ahead and unwind. And if you're at the wall, you can send both your legs up the wall. If you're in the middle of the room, you can send both your legs long and stretch on the floor. Go ahead. If you're on the floor, you'll bend your right knee and cross your left over. If you're at the wall, go ahead and cross, and you can start to walk your right leg or the opposite one down the wall. Remember, if you're on the floor, you're going to put your left hand through and grab for your shin. That elbow should be firmly in your left knee if you're in the middle of the room, and you'll just pull. Remember, if you're at the wall, your arms can just relax at your side, and you can just walk. Remember, you should feel a nice stretch in your right hip. You should never feel any shooting pain, though. Always walk out of poses. If you ever get that shooting pain, that's your body's way of protecting you and saying, no, not this. So make sure you pay attention to your body. And go ahead and just breathe and relax and totally melt into the ground. Remember, don't clench your jaw. Let your hips just relax. Let your feet relax. And let gravity do its thing. holding on to anything, clenching anything, see if you can let it go and just relax into the ground and breathe. Go ahead and slowly unwind. If you're at the wall, you can take a nice stretch with your legs up the wall. If you're on the ground, you can stretch, and we'll all meet back in the center of our mats on the ground. And you can take your feet as wide as your mat, and we'll just, and take your arms out to the side. And you'll kind of just, we'll windshield wiper slowly where you're taking your knee towards, your right knee towards your left foot, and then your left one towards your right foot. This is a modified sort of deer pose. You can just sort of stretch slowly like this a couple of times. And then we'll come back to center for that side twist that's so important for our digestive system. So bring your knees in, arms wide, and we'll go ahead and keeping your shoulders on the ground, bring your knees towards the right. If your knees do not meet the ground without your left shoulder popping up, this is a good place to put a pillow. If you're all stretched out from our exercise, you can get a little extra stretch by crossing your left leg over your right. And we'll just go ahead and bring your legs to the ground. You should feel a good stretch in your left side, whatever way you're doing this. If it works in your neck and shoulders, turn and look at your left hand. And then once you do that, you can close your eyes and relax into the ground. You should feel a really good stretch in your left side. Make sure your hips are totally relaxed, that everything is just relaxing into the ground, and breathe. Go ahead and come back to center. And you can scoot your hips a little bit to the right if you want. We're going to go ahead and bring your knees up. And we're going to repeat that on the other side. Again, same thing. If your knees do not meet, use a pillow. If you need an extra stretch, you can cross your right leg over your left this time. And keeping your shoulder down, stretch to the right and to the left, sorry. And you should feel a good stretch on your right side this time. If you did the other side, just make sure you're doing the opposite side of the one that you did before. If it works in your neck and shoulders, you can turn and look at your right hand. So your knees are going one way and your head is going the other way. And you're getting a good stretch on your right side this time. And just relax and breathe into the ground. Sorry, I thought I had my music muted. So just relax and breathe into the ground. Make sure you're not clenching your hip. Totally let all of those muscles go and breathe. Go ahead and come back to center, and you can take any stretches or anything that your body needs right now before we move into our final Shavasana, our rest pose. You might need to stretch. Coming up on your back and rolling is good. Happy baby is always a good way to end, where you have your knees wide and your feet up like you're walking on the ceiling, and you can grab, if you can reach your feet, you can grab for your feet. If not, you can hold on to the back of your shins. You can just sort of gently rock. You might think about the way babies are in a crib when they can still, they reach for their feet and do a lot of these things themselves. When you're ready, and if you like legs up the wall, like we were earlier, you can take that. Or just our regular Shavasana, just like we began class is what I'm gonna do. And just lie down on the mat, hands at your side, feet flopping out. Close your eyes and just check out how you're feeling. Do you feel different than you did at the beginning of practice? Hopefully. And just breathe here. And we'll go back to that sacred silence for just a moment in Shavasana. And just come back to your breath and concentrating on the air coming in and out of your nose when your mind wanders. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Move into that yogi fetal position by turning to your favorite side, using your bottom arm as a pillow. It's fine with me if you want to stay here, but if you'd like, you can come up to a seated position. Simple cross-legged pose is fine, whatever's comfortable in your body. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, taking that time, and thank yourself for taking time on your mat. That little island of your mat is that hour that you can take for yourself, where the rest of the world can go away for a little bit. So hopefully you can take part of that into your day. I bow to you. Thank you. Om Shanti, which means peace to all living creatures.
Shantae.